This training session will review district policy for crisis intervention, which includes information regarding seclusion, isolation, and restraint. The policies referenced in this section are policies 3045.2, 3045.3, and 3045.4. These policies apply to all Ferguson-Florissant School District staff, which includes staff assigned to programs on or off district premises, including school resource officers and employed off-duty police officers, employees of special school district assigned to Ferguson-Florissant, and contractors performing services for Ferguson-Florissant School District. Upon completion of this training, you will be aware of the policy and procedures and where to locate them, identify when seclusion, isolation, and restraint is allowed and prohibited and what the reporting requirements are, consequences for not following the policy, prevention techniques, the 2 levels of training, and upon completion of this training, you will meet the Level 1 training requirements. Policy 3045.4 is the district's policy on seclusion, isolation, and restraint. The policy manual can be located in your site's main office or online at www.fergflor.org. Each student in our district is unique and each situation is different. The standard operating procedures will be employed by all Ferguson-Florissant School District staff in cases when crisis intervention is needed to protect the safety and welfare of students, staff, and others in the school setting. A continuum of interventions is recommended for any student with behavioral concerns that significantly impact their access to the educational curriculum. Staff should provide universal supports throughout the school environment, conduct a functional behavior assessment, develop a behavior intervention plan, and implement it with fidelity. If additional intervention is needed in a crisis situation, steps must be taken, starting with the least restrictive technique. Here are some universal supports. First, rules are posted, referenced, and observed by students. Second, students have frequent and equal opportunities to respond. And third, staff is attentive to students' frustration level. If a situation calls for additional interventions, crisis intervention techniques should be followed from non-physical interactions first to physical interactions. Non-physical interaction techniques include verbal de-escalation techniques, which are use of voice tone and volume, rate of speech, and appropriate language. In addition, non-physical interaction includes non-verbal de-escalation techniques, which relate to the use of proximity and personal space, body language, facial expressions, and gestures. The last are preventative strategies, which can be done by listening, using universal supports, environmental management, encouragement, problem solving, redirecting, and teaching social skills. Physical interactions include interventions relating to physical restraint, isolation, and seclusion. Safety of students and staff by using personal safety techniques should be maintained. Let's take a closer look. Physical restraint, isolation, or seclusion may not be used as a punitive form of discipline, as a threat to control the student or to coerce compliant behavior. District-approved restraints applied as taught in the training should never impede breathing to the individual in the restraint. Prone restraints are prohibited. A prone restraint is defined as a specific crisis intervention strategy that utilizes forcibly placing or keeping an individual's body face down upon a surface and physically applying pressure to the body. Physical restraint is the use of a person-to-person physical contact to restrict the free movement of all or a portion of a student's body for 1 minute or more. Physical restraint may be used only when all of the following conditions are met. A student presents an imminent danger to him or herself or others. The staff member applying the physical restraint is properly trained in a district-approved crisis intervention program in its safe application, and the district possesses no medical contraindication as provided in a statement from the student's physician to the use of physical restraint. The following is a list of restraint procedures. Staff using restraint must be trained by certified trainers in district-recognized crisis intervention systems. During any restraint procedure, the student must be continuously monitored by an individual not involved in the restraint. The building administrator must be notified immediately and special school district area coordinator if applicable. District documentation forms must be completed before the end of the day by the staff member who initiated the restraint. The parent must be notified immediately by a building administrator or designee. Isolation is defined as an enclosed space without a mechanical lock separating the student from other students and instruction. Isolation may be used only when all of the following conditions are met. A student presents an imminent danger to him or herself or others, in an emergency situation, waiting for law enforcement to arrive, parental approval as stated in IEP or 504 IAP if applicable. The less restrictive measures have not been effective. In addition, parents must be notified immediately by the building principal or designee. Seclusion is defined as the confinement of a student alone in an enclosed space from which the student is physically prevented from leaving by locking hardware. Seclusion may be used only when the following condition is met: an emergency situation while waiting for law enforcement to arrive. Parents must be notified immediately by the building principal or designee. There are 2 levels of training required annually. The first is for all staff, which includes policy requirements and regulations, continuum of prevention techniques, universal supports, environmental management techniques, and the continuum of de-escalation techniques. The second is only for school personnel who utilize restraint and/or isolation. Staff using restraint must be trained by certified trainers in district-recognized intervention systems. Thank you for your participation in the Crisis Intervention Training. For more information, please contact your building administrator or the Board Policy and Procedure Manual.